When I began calisthenics, I built a stronger back than I ever had before. So if you want to know how you can build a stronger back as a complete beginner to calisthenics, then watch this video. If you train your back but it just feels like nothing is happening and you're not seeing any results, trust me, I've been there. I remember so vividly that I couldn't even do 2 pull-ups. But now, after doing calisthenics predominantly for a few years, that has changed drastically for me. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the blueprint to growing your back with calisthenics. I'm gonna talk reps, I'm gonna talk sets, and I'm gonna give you the exact exercises that I personally do. And I'm also gonna talk about 2 crucial points that may change everything for you. You see, as long as you bring yourself close to failure, hypertrophy is occurring, but it is most effective around that 10 to 12 rep range. So personally, if I can do 20 or more reps with an exercise, it's brilliant for muscular endurance, but I am going to increase the load a little bit more so I can only do 12 reps. And then on the opposite side of things, if an exercise is too difficult for me and I can only do 6 to 8 reps, that's brilliant for building strength. But for hypertrophy, building size, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps is kind of like the sweet spot for me. Whenever I do like 20 plus reps or only 6 to 8 reps, I'm not just flying through the exercise, it's done with an intention to build that endurance or build that specific strength. And the next issue that I see is poor quality reps. Now, I'm sure you've heard this a million times. Personally, I'm all about pushing myself. So I'm not saying every single rep I take is absolutely clean and pristine, because it's not. A general rule of thumb that I'd give someone is that the majority of the reps they do in their set should be clean, should be perfect quality. Only the last 1 or 2 reps are you allowed to struggle. I think if that's not the case, if you're not struggling on the last couple reps, then it means you're not really pushing yourself as much. Before we get into the most important thing, let's go over the exercises. The first exercise I do are pull-ups. Pull-ups are the absolute king of back exercises. Honestly, like, it's pretty much the only thing you need to build a wide, strong back. It's brilliant for your lats and it's gonna help you build that V-taper look. If it's too difficult, regress to using the lat pull down machine. I personally do not like the assisted pull-up machine, but that's for a whole different video. If it's too easy, then you can progress by doing weighted pull-ups, you can do muscle ups, you can do L-sit pull-ups. There's so many different variations that you can do. But keeping it nice and simple, 12 reps, 3 sets of your pull-ups, and you're sorted. If you're struggling with your pull-ups, there's a link to another video in the description where I help you get your first 5 pull-ups. And if you think you need a little bit more help, then I've got a very affordable program linked in the description as well. Now the second exercise is deadlifts. Now wait a second, please. I know you're wondering, this is a calisthenics video, what do you mean deadlifts? First of all, I personally do deadlifts. Yes, I train predominantly calisthenics, but deadlifts is absolute perfect exercise to help me build my lower back strength. As a complete beginner, I definitely would recommend deadlifts because it targets that lower back, and lower back is very important for calisthenics, but overall stability as well. There's also a calisthenics version that I love to do as well. That's called upside down deadlifts. So whether you're doing that or doing actual deadlifts, we're doing 10 sets. We're doing 10 reps of those for 3 sets. The third exercise that I do are inverted rows. This one hits your lats again, just like pull-ups, but it also hits the mid back as well. I love doing this by hanging on a bar, putting my legs on a bar in front of me, and doing my rows that way. However, you can also do it by utilizing a bench or a box on the actual barbell stand. Now remember, before I was saying if I'm gonna do more reps, I'm doing it with intention. This is one of those exercises. With this exercise, I'm gonna do 20 reps of 3 sets, and the intention with this is to build that endurance. Yes, hypertrophy is still occurring, but that endurance is going to help us push even harder on the other exercises where we're training predominantly for hypertrophy. Just like deadlifts, this is brilliant for building that stability and core strength as well. The next exercise is front lever raises. Now there's a few variations to this. You can do this tuck, you can do single leg, or you can do both legs. Basically what we're doing is keeping our arms straight, maybe a slight bend, and performing what essentially is a straight arm lat pull down. This exercise right here, I love it so much because this is what's building that straight arm strength. Again, we're working lats, but we're working it in a different way. Brilliant for building stability and getting used to that full body tension. With this, we're doing 10 reps of 3 sets. And the final exercise, or 2 exercises I should say, because I like to superset these ones, are TRX trap rows and rear delt flies. With the TRX trap rows, with this exercise, we're going to keep our elbows high and try to pull the TRX handles directly past our chin. And in doing so, we are going to be squeezing our traps. Now, when doing these exercises, the lower you just are is the more difficult it's going to be. So if it's too easy, you can lower it that way. Now, I like training these in variation. What I mean is sometimes I like doing it with the intention of hypertrophy. So I'll make it as intense as possible, bring my feet as far forward as possible. But most of the times I like training this for endurance. I like training 20 reps, 25 reps at a time. These are my go-to exercises when it comes onto training back. I may replace the pull-ups with more difficult alternatives, but the general idea is pull-ups. And the same thing goes for the other exercises as well. Anyways, let's talk about the most important thing that is going to make or break your training. That thing is progressive overload. Simply put, if you're not pushing yourself for growth consistently, you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna go anywhere. This is my philosophy. This is my principle of success when it comes onto training, and it's worked. It's worked for over 10 years. If you can do 5 pull-ups, next time you go, you should try to do 6. Once you're doing 10 to 12 pull-ups, sure, increase by 1 more if you'd like. But if you can put on that weighted belt and put on even 2.5 kilograms of weight and do the same 12 pull-ups, that right there is progressive overload. Very, very small, but that's all it needs to be, because that added up over time is what's going to change everything for you. With the TRX and the inverted rows, we can only make it more intense up to a certain point. Then from there on, we are going to have to increase the reps, which is no problem because it still brings immense benefit to us. And as long as you're turning up and taking action, you're taking steps in the right direction. So if this video helped you in any way with building your back strength, hit subscribe, because I've got plenty more advice to come your way. Remember, if you need a little bit more help with your pull-ups, there's a couple of resources linked in the description below. Go and become that 1% better today, and take care.